All right, hey everybody. Been a while since I've streamed. I hope you've all doing pretty well. Okay, let's switch over. Yeah, so yeah, basically I haven't streamed in a while because I just been focusing on my tutorials, but I've kind of missed just working on fun little side projects. So I think I'm gonna try to stream once or twice a week and just kind of work on some other project that's unrelated to my tutorials. And I don't know, I'll maybe make a video about like the finished project. Yeah, so it should. I hope that in general this will just provide a little bit more content on my channel and allow me to try out some other more fun things. Well, not necessarily more fun, but just other fun projects. But yeah, so I hope you've all been doing pretty well. In this tutorial, or not tutorial, in this video, I want to try to recreate this cool glitchy sign that I saw last week by Mr. Mandolino. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to try to recreate it in a shader. Um, I haven't done any research so far, really, so we're kind of been just trying stuff out today. But I think what I'm going to start with is oh, no, I don't think that'll work. So obviously each letter is made up of little circles, so I think I'm going to try to get that kind of pixelized texture first, and then the other big thing is that you can tell that there's like a separate green and red channel, and when they're combined it turns this yellow color, but sometimes like here it's offset. So I'm gonna try to recreate that somehow. Well, I wonder how that works in the actual sign, because it seems like for some reason, okay, well that means probably these circle shapes or circle pixels aren't actually pixels because they're slightly offset here, which is creating that chromatic aberration. And then the other thing is here that you can see that there's sections of it where basically it's scrolling some like text. So I think what I'll do there is I'll have like a texture of text, and then I'll have masks where I can like specify different scrolling speeds and directions. That's what I'm kind of thinking anyway. Um, and yeah, I guess we'll have to do scales and whatever this is. I don't know. We'll try and see. Just play around with it. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to start off creating it in the shader graph. Hopefully I won't regret this. The shader graph is great, but sometimes there are things you can't do in it, and if you ever run into one of those problems, you kind of have to just start from scratch. I think that the shader should be okay. Um, let's see, where is it? Shader. Okay, so yeah, we'll just do a standard surface shader. That should be okay. Oh, except, wait, that was a normal shader. I want a shader graph. Um, oh, okay, they put it in a separate. Yeah, so I'm working in 2021, which I'm not quite as familiar with. So yeah. So a lit shader graph. I'll just call this glitchy sign. Okay, so let's try to start off. Actually, I think what I'll do to give myself a little bit more working room. Let's not. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, we'll have lit. That's okay. So I guess the first thing is we want to try to do that the circular pixels. So basically I want to be able to feed a texture in, and then we'll just apply that mask, but let's see. Again, because of the chromatic aberration, we can see that these aren't actually pixels on the sign, because it's kind of offset. Trying to think of the right word. So it's offset on this out text. I don't know if you can see it on this on the stream, but there's like a little glow of green and red on the edges of that, so we can tell that some of the color is bleeding. So I want to try to recreate that as well. Let's see. I guess let's just try to draw. So we'll have a color texture. Let's actually just make it a flat color for now. So this will be, I don't know, display color. And then we'll have the background color. All right, and so we'll want to make, basically, in order to draw the circular pixels, we'll want to see if we'll need to divide the screen into squares and then test if the distance from like the center of that square is within a radius. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I guess vector 2, and this will be, well, do we want to have like an absolute number of squares or maybe just like a radius? Let's see. I think maybe a radius would be better. Okay, so this will be pixel radius. Okay, so if we look at the sign. Okay, so the pixels, there's actually a slight bit of spacing between them. So like the size of the pixel is not exactly the circle radius. So I could either decouple the radius from the actual grid size. Okay. So we want world position. I could also do local position. I don't know. I'll just do world for now, so it's independent of scale. And we'll take the X, Y coordinates. Okay, how come these aren't? Okay, it just looked a little strange. I was gonna say, how come they're not aligning? All right, and so now what we want to do is divide this by the grid size. Okay, so this is pink because we're dividing by 0 here. So let's just change the default to 1 to make these previews a little bit easier to look at. And then, okay, so now we want to take a fraction node, and this will basically constrain this to only, well, it's kind of like taking the modulo of 1, so it only gives the fractional part of it. Okay, so if we go ahead and put this as the color, I guess let's just test this. Okay, so save asset. And let's create a folder. I guess we'll just call this research scene. And inside we'll create a material. Oh, okay. The reason it's pink, I think, is because I haven't set up. Okay, let's change this. I haven't set up URP in the graphics settings. Yes, that's fine. While I'm here, let's make sure that I have it set to linear color space, which it is. Okay, and now we'll switch this to our shader graph, glitchy sign. Okay, and we'll, let's also, okay, how do you do this? No, you can, okay, there we go. So I want to change this to, I don't know, NMG, I guess. So now the sign will show up under the NMG folder and the, yeah, here, instead of just the generic shader graphs. Okay, so now if we create a plane, yeah, that's fine. And then set it to 0, 0, 0 and rotate it, I guess the Z axis, -90. And give it the sign material. Okay, so now it shows. Okay, so let's see. Why are the colors like that? Because I was expecting, I don't know why there's different colors below. Probably because it's dividing, so do I need to do an absolute? Yeah, because it's negative, I mean. Yeah, so position. Okay, let's think about this. So green is Y, so that looks fine. So this is red, so that means that the X value is positive here. Okay. I want to make sure I understand what's going on. Let's change this just to the X value. I love this new mask feature, actually. Used to, you had to do drop downs. Interesting. Oh, why did it revert? Okay, so why is the X value? Okay, first of all, okay, I think I think the problem here is maybe, I'm not really sure, but I actually want this to be rotated a different way because I kind of want the camera, yeah, like, so it should be facing towards the camera. Let's see. So maybe this will make it a little bit. Yeah, so I think the weirdness was actually just because it was rotated different because we're using the X and Y components, and before the X component was actually 0 the whole time. So it was maybe just some kind of floating point error. Okay, well anyway, I'm glad I figured that out before we got too far. Yeah, so this is what I was expecting. So see, we have grids here, and I can scale it. And since it's all world space, basically the grid size stays the same. Oh god, that was. And then on the material, we can change the grid size as well. Okay, so yeah, this all looks fine. All right, so let's add the pixel radius part. So what we need to do here is create a distance node, and we'll take the distance of this fraction to the center, which would be 0.5, 0.5. I don't know if you guys could hear that thunder. Yeah, there's been pretty bad storms lately, so I do apologize if the audio picks that up. So if we just put this in here, we should get a kind of interesting pattern. Yeah, so it's the distance from the center of each grid. So we can obviously see how we can turn this into a circle pattern now. We would just take like I don't know, a smooth step. So this is the input, and I don't know, pixel radius. Okay, and then let's add, I don't know, a pixel. Oh, interesting. You can have little drop downs now. That's pretty cool. But what I wanted actually was, I don't know, a pixel fuzziness value. Except should be this. And we'll just set this to 0.1. Yeah, and this. Oh, actually, no, it shouldn't be a slider because it's based in world units. So for this, we'll just subtract it from the radius. And this will be the lower bound of the smooth step node. Okay, why did it turn all black there? Right, let's check it out in the scene, because sometimes it does not look how you would expect. Okay, so there's something going on here. Okay, I don't know what those errors are about. Okay, so maybe I'm misremembering the smooth step node. Right, so when this is 0, it worked. So if I set it to 0.9, it doesn't. Oh, okay. The reason is because the distance is only ever 0.5, so yeah. Let's change this. There, okay, so now it should work. Yeah, so the problem before was that I was thinking since our grid size was 1, the radius is only ever 0.5, so it never got to, it never reached the threshold. Okay, so say, excuse me. And then, okay, so now we can see it's kind of reversed. Because I want this to be a mask, so it should be white where we want to draw the color. Okay, so yeah, all I have to do is do they have invert here? Oh, I could do 1 minus. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is what we want, and now we can multiply, or we can use this to interpolate between the background and the display color. So, lerp. Okay, so now it's black because both these colors are black in the defaults. Okay, well, it's still showing black. Which doesn't make much sense. Okay, well, it works here. which I guess is the important thing, but I kind of want to be able to actually use this previews for stuff. So maybe it's because the alpha is 0? No. Let's see if we did this. Okay, just show this white then. Okay, I guess I just had to update. Okay, well now it's working, so that's fine. What is with these errors? Something inside the shader graph doesn't exactly give me confidence. But I guess so far things are working okay. Maybe that's why I didn't update. Okay, so we have the mask now. I'm let's see. Could go ahead and turn this into a subgraph, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's see. Let's look at the inspiration again. So another thing they do. Okay, so I guess the next thing I need to do is the 2 different color channels, and then there's also this kind of the color blinks in and out. And it seems like the entire screen does that. It's hard to tell. Like, I don't know if I need to have the fade in and out. Well, I guess, yeah, I'm probably getting a little bit too ahead of myself, but I was thinking, do I need to have the fade period be different for different sections on the screen? But it looks like the entire screen has this kind of blinking. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let's not do the LERP part. So we'll move, this will stay outside the subgraph, but the rest of this we'll put into a subgraph. Convert to subgraph. This will be pixel, let's just call it circular pixel mask. Okay, and it's a good size. The pixel radius and pixel fuzziness, that's fine. Let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So first I want to set some defaults so we don't get these magenta. Graphs. And this, we can just call this mask. Okay. We should probably have this position be outside of the subgraph so that we can change this in the future easily. So let's just change this to be UV. Okay, this is gonna make these previews be pretty useless because it's just a constant now. I guess I'll leave this here so that way if for some reason I have to test this, I can just plug that in there and we'll get some good previews again. Okay, and then I'll copy this and bring it back out to the parent. And I'll be inside there. Okay, so now we want to have different masks, one for the red and one for the green color. And then we'll offset. Okay, well the funny thing is, like in certain places you can see they match exactly because there's no chromatic aberration, but then in other places they're offset. So that's going to need to be in my control texture. Let's just go ahead and get the effect going. I don't know if we'll be able to really tell, but okay. Or I guess the color blending. So what I'm going to need to do is basically have two of these. Okay, and then we can apply an offset to each, I guess, for now. So this will be red offset and green offset. Just for testing, let's add a little offset here. Okay, let's move this like that maybe. Add the red offset there. Okay, and so now we just feed both of these into those graphs like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to, this graph is going to be pretty big, I think, so I'm trying to keep things organized, but sometimes with graphical programming, it's kind of difficult. Let's see. All right, so here we have the red mask and the green mask, and you can see the green is offset slightly to the side. So what we want to do... Okay, so I guess we'll need three colors here. We'll need the red, the green, and then the combo color. And then, yeah, background. I mean, technically, on the actual sign, the combo color is just both of these added together, but in this shader I can specify it uniquely if I want. Okay, so we don't need that anymore. And let's just set some good defaults here. Okay, so what I need to do is in areas where it's only red, we'll use this. Where areas where it's only green, we'll use this color. And then where it's intersection, we use the combo. And then we just add everything together. Okay, so we can take this minus the green to get the red area. Okay. So then we would multiply these. So now we have the red mask. To get the green, it's the same, except we'll flip this so it's green minus red. And then we'll use the green color. Okay, let's move this down so it can fit. Okay, and for the combo color, we multiply them together instead of subtracting. I wonder, I wonder if I need to saturate this because we could get negative numbers. And that will probably make the addition be weird. So saturate, what this does is clamps the value between 0 and 1. Okay. Yeah, so multiply. Okay, I think that's... Is this correct? Should I do... It should actually be addition. No. Addition would be both of them. Okay, no, this is right. This little section in the middle was throwing me off, but it's because the offset is very large. So this little part right here is showing up. So I think this is correct. Let's actually keep like that, and then combo color. Okay, and then for the background color, it's basically where none of these are displayed. So it would be basically the inverse. No, it wouldn't be the inverse of this. I guess I can just add these masks together and then subtract by 1. Although, wait. No, basically I can add these two together and then invert it. Because, yeah, these masks are all either this or this. So if I add them both together, and then I need to saturate it. So again, it's only is between 0 and 1, and then invert it. This kind of messes up my formatting here. Okay, and yeah, this shows up as black because the background color is black. Maybe I should give it a little some color there. Okay, and it's not going to show up because it doesn't update unless I force it to. Okay, so now if I add all these colors together, it should give me the final color. Get rid of that. Okay, so let's save it and check it out. Yeah, so I'm still getting a ton of these errors, but okay, so it looks pretty good. This is this a bug or is that just part of it? A lot of it I think is because this offset's very large. Like in the actual thing, it probably never gets more than something like that. So let's give it a vibrant color. Okay, let's see. So if I set this to 0, so we are getting a weird halo. Okay, so blending. It's not completely correct, but I could, let's see. So if I just make it all like monochromatic. Okay, no, this is strange. So yeah, I put the black background and the combo color both to white, and so since I have no offset, it should be entirely white. But we can see here it's not. So probably for the background color, what I need to do is just do like what I was going to, where I just do 1 minus all these masks put together. Because I think what's happening is when I add and saturate these feathered areas is not, like when I add everything up, it's not 100%. Okay, so I mean, this is fine. It's just going to be a little bit more messy, but so what I need to do is add these masks and then add this mask and what do I want to add? Now I need to saturate and then do a 1 minus. Actually, okay, I think I might have figured out another issue. I'll leave this messy for a second. Okay. Well, this at least gets it completely white. So if I add an offset, does it still work? Well, obviously no, because these are different colors. So yeah, I just want to test to make sure. Okay, I guess this is okay then. Okay, I was thinking that because of the saturate, it's not, because basically what I want is all these masks to add up to 1. Um, which might not be the case actually. Let me see. So if I set each of these maybe to 0.25, um, this isn't going to be a correct test either, actually. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Because what I could do, I guess, if I really wanted to test, is I would like multiply each of these by 1/4 and then add it together, and then the color should be constant no matter what. But when I look here, like the color is constant, so I don't know if it really matters if the masks always add up to 1, because visually it looks okay. So I don't know. Yes, there might be a better way to do this, but I think I'm okay for now. Let's add this back. Oops. Yeah, I at least don't see any banding anymore, which is the main problem before. There is these little cusps there, but I don't know. They do look kind of strange, actually. I don't know if it'll really be visible in that final thing, though, because we pretty much will always just have a very small offset. Just trying to think if there's a better way to do this. Maybe instead of subtracting, I could multiply this with like 1 minus the mask. Is that the same thing though? Okay, let's try it out. This is gonna get pretty messy actually. Alright, let's move this out. So now we need this and then the 1 minus version of each. Okay, and This might be a little better because now each mask is just like a multiply mask. Let's just move that down and I'll keep it in case I want to revert. Okay, so for the red, we would multiply red and 1 minus green. Okay, and then for green, it would be green times 1 minus red. And then for the combo, it would be green and red. Okay, I know this is hard to see with all these lines going around, but okay, and then for the bottom, can I just multiply the 1 minus together? This might work. Let's try it. Okay. All right, I already have this all set up. So I could just... Oh, wait. Looks pretty good in the preview. Okay, yeah, this I think is better. Right away you can see you don't have those weird cusps where they blend together. I think that was from subtracting before. Yeah, so multiplication just looks better. And yeah, so if I turn this off, yeah, the blending also looks more natural, I think. And then if I just change everything to white again, let's test that out. Oops. Okay, so unfortunately that doesn't work, but it does look okay when everything is white. I'm trying to think, am I okay with that? So I think what's happening there is since we have this feathering on the edges of the pixel where it's blending out, both just the straight mask and then the inverted mask have a value, so that's why some of these red and greens show through. So how do I fix that? I need to like subtract. I need to like subtract this from these masks. I guess do I even want to worry about it? Hmm. So I guess this would be pretty visible if for some reason I made the combo color be purple. Yeah, so I think it would be nice to fix it. So maybe I should just go back to how I had it before, even though we had those cusps. It doesn't really matter, maybe? Or is there some way I can get the best of both worlds? Let's see. So if I subtract... Okay, no, why is it blue? Oh, it's because I need to saturate. Okay, so now I don't get the red behind it, but it is blue or like black. Okay, that looks really bad. Well, it doesn't really look bad, I mean, but it's not what I want. Did I do something wrong though with the math? Oh, I did do something wrong. This is multiply, not subtract. Okay, so now I get these halo effects around it. That's not what I want either. Yeah, we can see it there too. And I think it's just because it's not smooth. Maybe I should just go back to how I had it originally, because even though I had those peaks, you couldn't really notice it when the aberration was not very strong, which I don't think it will be. Okay, let's see if I can go back. Oh, wait, no, this is like this. Okay, so yeah, we get these kind of artifacts right there, but it doesn't, like when the offset is small, you can't really see it. But the advantage to this um, blending strategy is that we can have the center color be any color we want and it still blends okay. So like if I have it as 0, none of the red or green leak through, which is pretty nice. So that way that I can have this combo color be anything instead of something that would actually result from adding these two colors together. yeah, it's just, yeah, you get these weird things like that. But like I said, on the actual sign, if I bring that back up, it's not, the aberration is never strong enough for you to actually be able to tell. Now, okay, so these little zigzag stripes, that would be one problem, is if my blending effect does show there. So what I should do now is maybe just have like just to test things. Let's make like a zigzag on the green channel. I guess both of them to test that. Okay, so let's bring this whole bit of code into another subgraph. So this will be color 2 channel mixing, something like that. Okay, so let's clean this up. So this will be name to first channel, or first mask, I guess. And second mask. And then this, I can rechange or rename this to first color, second color. Okay. Yes, this code is a little messy, but since it's in its own subgraph, it doesn't really make much difference. Oh yeah, and the outputs. What is it even outputting? Okay. What is this? Oh, it's just outputting the mask again. It doesn't need to do that. Oh yeah, because it was coming up to this, but don't need that mixing. Okay. So yeah, so what I want to do now is edit this mask. So we just want to do like, I don't know, some kind of diagonal stripes. Can start with a sine wave. And to make it rotate, we can just do I'm trying to think, can I just do a dot product? I think that might work. I can also just rotate it with an sine, or using a normal rotate node. So yeah, I'd take the dot product of this with some 2. Okay, yeah, that works. And I guess I need to multiply this. Or, this isn't going to be in the actual thing, so don't really care if it's oops, very let's see, configurable. Okay, that's good enough. So now I can just multiply the mask with this. Okay, let's just see how this looks. If it has that peaking effect, then it kind of does. Let's see. So the thing is here, okay, I don't think it'll actually matter because it looks like the colors actually don't change like in the middle of a pixel. Besides that kind of offset aberration effect that's happening on this out. Here with these scrolling lines, a pixel is either all green or all red. Okay, so let's see. So basically I would need to how would I so I need to make a stripe within this pixel grid. I'm trying to think of an easy way to do that. Hey, D-Monkey. Yeah, it's good to see you. I used to stream a lot more often, and I'm gonna try to now. But yeah, I haven't streamed in a few months, actually. But yeah, good to see you. Okay, I'm just trying to think. Let's see here. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so it's definitely only per pixel, but I'm just not sure the easiest way to make it the color like only let's see, actually when you zoom in closer you can kind of see that these are individual lights, so maybe this, okay, maybe I made that chromatic aberration thing for nothing. Yeah, I should have zoomed in. Let's see, because like, yeah, here you can see that actually the out is kind of just offset by 1 pixel. It's not, there's not like, how do I say this? There's no actual like offset within the pixel itself. Kind of an interesting effect on this F. It's a stronger color than everything else. I think we'll have to implement that with like bloom or something. Or I could do some kind of bleed outside the pixel, but let's see. Okay, so now I kind of feel like this was not needed, but it was still kind of a fun exercise, so it's fine no matter. Okay, so I think what I need to focus on now is finding some way to control the color of each of these pixels. Um, so what I would do, so basically I want to kind of pixelize this shape to make it within this grid. So that's easy to do if I used a texture, but it'd be kind of cool if I could also make it um, procedural as well. So I could take this shape and then pixelize it on the grid. So we would like, but I'm not sure if there's an easy way to do that really, because I want to like sample it. So basically what I would do is I need to find an input into the sine wave that's the same for each value on the grid. So Okay, so I guess what I could do is instead of using position, I would use the position of the center of the nearest grid value. Let's see how that looks. I think that will work. So in this mask, how I did that was I divided by the grid size and then took the fraction of it. Okay, except, so if I do this, we can see here it's still changing per pixel. So what I want each of these grid values to kind of have the same, or each of these squares in this grid to have the same value when I input it into this dot product. So what I would do is instead of taking the fraction, I would take the floor, or I could round up depending on what I want to do. Okay, so this will show black because this only ranges from -1 to 1. But I think it should look okay in the actual scene. Okay, I think that did work actually. So we're not gonna have this offset anymore, so let's get rid of this. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. Let's just output this to color. Okay, so now we can see how it's turned that sine wave into pixels. Here we can see it's either all red, all green, or all both. There's no blending between them. So what I need to do is just say that like if sine is less than 1/2, we just round down, otherwise we round up. So could I use a round node for that? I still see some middle gray, or is that lighting? Well, we can see these are definitely two different colors. Probably, okay, I think what's going on here actually is the sine ranges from -1 to 1, so I should remap it. Um, that was not right. Okay, yeah, so now everything looks okay. I think what was happening before was that the negative value was messing up the masks. Or actually, I was just routing into base color, so I'm surprised that actually affected anything, but I don't know exactly how that shader is, or Unity's shaders behind the scenes are implemented. Okay, so let's, just for fun, let's go ahead and create um, I wanted to make an easy way to edit this value. Okay, so let's just make a temporary angle. Oh, that's not how you spell that. Okay, so I'll have this range between 0 to 1, and we'll multiply this with 2 pi. constant. And we can use this as like a rotation value. Let's see, so I can do sine. That'll go there, and then cosine goes there. Okay, so now when I do that, huh? Oh, okay. I was gonna say I got rid of the pixels, but no, they're just straight. So when yeah, we can see it is rotating them. Is it? Feels like it's rotating faster than I would expect. Let's just route the sine into there again. Okay. Actually, what I wanted to do. Let's get rid of the pixelation just so I can see what's going on. Okay, no, it is actually rotating the correct way. It's just, it's really hard to tell when we pixelate it because the waves are so small that it's very chaotic because it basically just picks the wave value at the corner of any of our pixel grid. So, let's see. So what I should do is edit this value as well. So this, I don't know, we'll just call it frequency for now. These aren't going to be in the final graph. Set it to 1. Okay, so now we do that, and we can see it is rotating correctly. So if I put back in our pixelation effect, okay, this is fine. So this seems to be a bit more how you would expect. And then we can increase the frequency. So what was happening before was that the frequency was so high that it was basically just kind of almost doing a random pattern, which is actually in random number generators it almost always has a sign in it, which now you can kind of see why that is. But if we do something like 2, then it's easy to see it rotating. Anyway, so if we put back in our circular mask, so what I need to do is route this into there, and that into there. Yeah, so we can see it. Now all of our pixels have our circle pattern. Yeah, and we don't need this. This aberration does look cool, but it's not actually in the scene. Because, yeah, like we found out when we've zoomed in, which I should have done from the start, I guess, that what's actually happening here is there's some dots right next to each other that are green and red. So it looks like the out has like some aberration, but it's actually just the green and red values are offset. Instead of they're offset on the pixel grid and not the pixel itself, if that makes sense. Anyway, so now we are able to pixelate any random pattern. I think we just need to feed it in this pixelated position and then make sure that we round the output value, and no matter what we put in the middle, it should conform to the grid. Okay, so what's next? What's the next step? I guess I need to somehow write letters, right? I think how I'll do that is I'll feed in some texture, and then we'll use that as values. So what I can do is, again, since each circle pixel does not change inside, I can probably just have like 1 pixel on the texture for each. And then we'll just be sure to sample the correct one. Oops, I haven't had to do any scripting yet so far. Okay, sorry for knocking the mic. Let's see. Okay, so since I'm going to be doing some pixel art, let's open up a sprite. Oops, I didn't think I would do that. Do I have it here? Okay, I think it's going to... Let me just hide my screen real quick because I'm not sure what is going to pop up. I know I have it installed, but it's not on my start menu for whatever reason. Okay, 1 second. I'm having to launch Steam and everything. Did I uninstall it at some point? Not that it'll take too long to install, but I don't really want to have to do this on stream. Okay, no, it's here. Okay, so we'll just do a new... oh, it's way too big. Okay, so we'll do a new texture. Let's see. Well, at some point I'll need to... Well, I think what we'll actually do is we'll have like kind of a sprite sheet where we have all these different text lines, and then I'm going to make a control texture which will show how to like scroll and everything. And then we'll need to do these red and green diagonal stripes. But... okay, so I'm trying to figure out how big I should make it. Let's just do, I don't know, 256 by 256 for now. We can always increase it. Oh, that's really big actually for pixels. Let's just do 64 by 64 to start with. Okay, so I need to make a new layer so I can have transparency. Okay, so what I'm going to do... let's just draw, I guess out of order. Okay, let's see if we can match it. So it's... can I pause? Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up and 2 over. This is a little awkward to get it all on screen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's just copy the order for now. Oops. Okay, it won't let me zoom in anymore. I think that's 3 here. I don't know, I don't really have to copy it exactly, but... All right. Let's see. I'm not sure where this is going to pop up. So I want to save it to projects. Nope, not that. Not that folder. Netmix games. Okay, so let's be safe from now on. So I think I did video projects, glitchy, assets, research scene. Let's just call this text, I guess. Okay, so back in Unity. Okay, so I'll set alpha is transparency to true. We actually we don't want bitmaps here because we don't want these. We want this text to stay crisp. Yeah, I'll have to look because a lot of times with procedural textures like this, when you zoom out, things look really noisy. So we might have to make our own some kind of like distance blur effect. So implement our own bitmaps like. Okay, and then we'll want no filter. Repeat's probably fine, actually. So then in our shader, instead of doing this sine pattern, which I guess I'll leave around in case we need to test, but let's snip this off so it's not too crazy. Okay. Let's category. Why did it do that? What? Okay, I don't know why it added this random property in it. Okay, so gotta let me name it. Okay. This will just be debugging. And I'll add angle and frequency into it, and we don't need that. But I don't know why it's putting that in there. Okay, whatever. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, the texture. So this is the it's not the control texture. It is I guess I'll just call it the pixel texture, I'm not sure. Okay, so what I want to do is this will actually be describing an actual pixel on the texture that will sample. So but so in order to sample this, we actually will use UVs, which always are normalized, meaning that they load from 0 to 1. And actually we can use sample texture 2D LOD because we'll always sample from the first LOD. Okay, so in order to transform UVs transform from a pixel position to a UV, we need to know the size of this. I'm not sure how that works with shader graph. Texel size. Let's see. I mean, I could just have it as a property, but it'd be nice if it would just automatically fit the texture. Yeah, I'm trying to remake that sign monkey. Oh, is that what it's called? Texture to UV? Um, I'm not seeing it. Oh, it's all right. Yeah, like in text shaders, you would get it through something called texel size, but I don't think it's like the X and Y. I'm not sure how this is implemented here. Okay, is this right then? Because yeah, it's kind of confusing. Because technically a texel is a pixel on the texture, so I never know if this is like the size in UV space of one texel or if it's the actual like width and height of the texture itself. But yeah, I guess we can try this and see. Um, okay, so what I would do then is we divide this by the texture size, and that should give us our UV. I actually need to turn this into a vector. So we can divide it correctly. All right, and then the texture actually has to go in there. Okay, and like that. I guess I don't really have to. Well, I guess I should just go ahead and round it. So let's see if this works correctly. She doesn't really like non-square images. You shouldn't have to calculate on 2 axes. That's correct. Usually not, but I don't know. It works fine like this. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we put that in there. Okay, let's make this easier to debug by taking out the circular mask. Yeah, I'll just route that. Okay, so it's giving me one white square. Okay, so this is all in world space, so if I move it around, obviously something in my calculations is incorrect because, oh, well, now we see a pattern, but that doesn't match our texture. So what have I done wrong? Let's see, so first, let me just route this. Okay, so it seems to be correct, maybe. Let's see. We put different. Let's see. Trying to see. This doesn't change if I change that texture. All right, let me just check real quick what this texel size looks like in HLSL. Okay, so returns the width and height of the texel size of the texture 2D input. Okay, so this is actually what I thought it was, but do not use default input to reference your texture 2D. It makes your graph perform worse. Instead, connect this node to a separate texture 2D asset node. But okay. Texture 2D asset. Interesting. Does that mean I can't use the actual texture property? Want me to just hard code in a texture? I don't really like that. Let's see. So this is each of these squares, that's the grid size, isn't it? Yeah. I feel like oh, accidentally set that to 0. All right, no, that's definitely not. Or I was thinking that this shape was all on one grid, but no. It's still correct that each of these squares is one of the grid pixels, but I don't know why there's this strange pattern. Obviously, I'm not sampling the texture correctly. Let's, I just want to test this. We'll see about getting the actual texel size, but if I just have in a texture dimensions field that I can set myself. And then here we can set that to 64. Oops. Okay, so even when I do that, I get this weird pattern. So that means it's not actually an issue with the um, texel size node, which I guess is good. Okay, one problem here, I think, actually this might be the entire issue, is that I need to multiply with the alpha channel. So let's multiply the red channel. Actually, we could just use the alpha channel straight. Okay, so that was the issue. Yeah, I was using the actual color of the texture, but if we look in Ace Sprite, we can see that it's actually just all white. And if I took out the transparency channel, we would probably see that weird triangle thing. So yeah, I actually just want to use the alpha channel here. Yeah. Okay, so now I can move back to using the texel size node. And yeah, I'm not going to use that texture asset because I want it to match the texture and the property, even if it's not as performant. I don't really care that whole lot about performance with this particular shader. Okay. Okay, so now if I set this back. So what I would do to make the texture fit on this plane is I can increase the grid size. I hope that would work. Or no, wait, I want to decrease the size. Okay, and I think right here, so it's offset from the center of the texture, which is probably fine, but let's have it so that 0, 0 is 0, 0 and world space is, wait, is that correct? Let's go. Let's see. So if this is 0, 0, then we divide by the grid size, but still, so that gives us 0. Floor is 0. So 0, 0 in world space should be the bottom left of the texture, right? Let's see. Did I? Oh yeah, I've offset this. Okay, that's why it was. Yeah, this is what I thought. So yeah, or sorry, it should be the top left. Because yeah, texture coordinates start in the top left, so you move down. Okay, so yeah, well, this is fine. But now, yeah, we can see we can, since everything is positioned with world space, we can move it around like that to get it centered. Not that it particularly matters at this point. Okay, so now we've got, I guess I should add back in our circle mask. So all I have to do to that is we use the alpha channel instead of the color, and then move this like that. Okay, there we go. So now what I would want to do is have a separate texture lookup for the red and the green. But I think in the final shader, what I want to do is use the same texture, but then offset the UV positions. So I can change, I guess this red and green offset, we'll use this to actually offset the texture sample. I guess I'll have it in the texture, like the pixel texture units. So let's move. Oh yeah, I can't. I wish that you could shift select stuff so you can have a bit more control about what you drag. Okay, so this is in the texel space. So what I should do is instead of feeding a different value into here, we'll just feed this. Okay, go like that. I want to create, yeah, this kind of node. And then, oops. I made that a little bit more messier than it needed to be. And then green offset. Move this out a little bit, I guess. Okay, so in this case, I can actually use the same pixel mask for both, since I don't change the position, so the values are always the same. Then, okay, so we sample once, twice, so I'll clean this up a little bit. Move this stuff down. Okay, and then you round the alpha. And then for the red mask, we use this. For the green, we use this one. Oops. Okay, I don't like it when they overlap. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then that goes there. Okay. So now here, if I change this to offset, so it's in, yeah, I put the addition in the wrong spot. Or yeah, here, because this is in UV space, so I want to actually do it in pixel space, which is before the division. Oops, so silly mistake there. Okay, I just need to rearrange. Actually, let's I was gonna say just put this in a separate subgraph. That might not actually clean up too much now that I think about it. Okay, so why do I have magenta here? Because I'm dividing. I have this backwards, so it should divide by the texture width and height. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now, why do I have 2 green offsets? Is it? I bet it has something to do with this debugging. It kept wanting to create an extra green offset property. Don't know why. Kind of annoying. Because I have 2 right here, but they're linked. Not sure what's going on there, but yeah, so now we can offset by the pixel size, and yeah, when we have more pixels on screen, we can make the chromatic aberration effect. The interesting thing here is that let's see. Yeah, so the out usually has just like a single pixel offset. But anyway, so we can oh yeah, here you can see it. So there's like red, but it's not over the it's like it's rotated a little bit or something because there's only a couple red pixels up up this top corner instead of moving the whole letter over. It's kind of pretty interesting effect actually. But yeah, so basically in my control texture, which is going to be how I control the animation, I guess I'm going to need to have like rotation and offset for this texture. And then I'm going to need to have how to animate it over time. I guess scaling too. So basically it'd be good if I could have an entire matrix, but I'm not sure. That'll be difficult to encode into a texture, but just think about it. Oh, but anyway, I think I'm going to need to wrap up the stream. I know it's a bit shorter today. But yeah, it's 1 p.m. here, so I need to go and get some lunch and get doing some other stuff. But thanks everybody for coming by. I think we got pretty good progress. So next time I'll work on the control texture, like I said. Basically, we'll sample it for every pixel, and it will help us decide how to animate the pixels and rotate these pixel textures. And we'll probably set that from C# and hook it up with an animation. And that's how we'll implement, I guess, the fun part of all this. And when do I normally stream? Well, this is the first stream I've done in a while, so I don't really have a schedule yet, but I'm going to try to stream weekend mornings. Probably can't do it any other time of the week, but maybe you'll have the odd, like, weeknight stream every once in a while. But I'll be sure to put it in my Discord, so be sure, yeah, if you're interested in getting alerts, you can check that out. I have a link. Actually, I'll go ahead and put a link in the chat. I know you're already Discord monk guy, but just anybody else. Oh, okay. I guess my bot is not working correctly because it didn't post my outro message. Let me get a link. Yeah, so you can check out there or just search for Ned Makes Games on Twitter or whatever else. But yeah, thanks everybody. Oh no, not at all, Monk. I appreciate any activity really. I know that you have a message that you've been waiting for me to answer on Discord. I'm gonna try to get to that this afternoon. But yeah, so thanks everybody for coming by again, and we'll continue on this next stream. And yeah, I'll see you later. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.